getting the bean out of storage right now. We're going to take it home so we can get it in to get the bearings packed. And then we're going to get the bean cleaned up a little bit. It's a little dusty. We're going to start packing it up for our trip out west. Okay guys, we are getting ready to go camping. Any guesses why we're going to be leaving Michigan for a few weeks? Anyway, we're going to be sharing with you our tips for getting ready, getting the camper staged and ready to go, as well as the planning of the actual itinerary. Come on inside, it's cold out there. Dave is drinking his coffee as we're getting ready to get the camper staged and ready to go. Right now it's pretty bare. There's nothing in here. We've got the cushions up in the front only, but everything else is completely empty. So we're going to share with you how we get this ready. The reason the camper is so bare is that we do a systems check of everything that we can to make sure everything is working.
And probably the last thing that we do when we're preparing our camper and packing things up is to make the bed at the very last. And the reason being is that our system, our heating system and water system, management system is under the bed. So you have to lift the panel up. And if we have any leaks, anything, we need to tighten anything up. We don't want to have the bed made, mattresses on there, cushions, and just make it more cumbersome to check things out that way. So we save that for the last.
Just a second ago, this one lit up fine and stayed lit. The second one did not, so I'm going to do a recheck. It could be because it's cold outside and we just turned the propane on a few minutes, so we thought we'd give it a chance to air out, and we're going to do it again. And let's make sure it stays on. And it does. So the propane's working. The refrigerator is working. We actually turn the refrigerator on at least 48 hours before we depart to make sure that it does chill to the appropriate temperature. And so that is working, and we're going to be loading up the refrigerator in a little bit. And the fan, making sure that's ready. Check the bathroom fan. It's working. We're going to check the panel, and right now the battery should show full because we're connected to shore power, and all of the other tanks should be empty since we have not added water yet.
So we're getting a gas failure warning light coming on our monitoring system here. So most likely what has happened is our tank that was left in there is probably just run out, and we do have a new tank to put in there, filled up and ready to go. So we'll put that in, check it out, and probably we'll fix it. If not, we'll have to troubleshoot some more.
So Dave is going to go check the propane, which is very important because we're leaving the cold and we don't want to be cold where we're going. So it'll just take a quick couple of minutes to make this check, and I'm thinking we're going to be good to go.
Yeah, we have to check the propane as far as the heating system. We know the heating system's working fine with hooked up to shore power. So now, since we have that propane error, we got to make sure we have full tank, and that should take care of it. If not, stay tuned.
Yeah, it's got to work everywhere. It's got to work in the stove, which may explain why we had that weak light or that weak flame. And then make sure the heating system works. So let's get this going. We just brought in the new propane, and everything seems to be working. The flame is very smooth and clean, and the other flame is working as well. So the next thing is to check the heating system to make sure that's going to work well on propane too. So we switched over to propane priority, and we've got the refrigerator. It's a three-way, so it runs off shore power, battery, and propane. So I switched that over to propane just to make sure that it's working. And then I can hear the furnace in the background kicking over to propane as well. So we are in hurry up and wait mode, and I guess we're not completely empty because I have my leveler here. But we are waiting to make sure that we don't get a gas failure, so we've got the refrigerator switched over to propane, and we're waiting to make sure the heating system is working. And it seems to be so far, but we're going to give it a few minutes just to make sure. One of the best indicators that our furnace is working is the bathroom. We have an Aldi system, and the radiant heat in the bathroom warms right up when the furnace kicks in. So I'm going to give it the touch test. So open the door. Here's the furnace. Oh yeah, baby. It is nice, warm, and toasty, so that means we are good to go. The gas system is working. Everything is working so far, so we are going to start loading up and getting ready for our trip. So we're getting ready to go pack and bring things in. We have a staging area inside of the house. Where do you want to start?
Let's see. Let's start with the pots and pans. Why not?
Why not? Well, isn't there organization to the madness?
You have a system down. I'm not sure I fully understand it, but I know you do. So I will carry it out here, and I will let you place it exactly where it needs to go because you have the system down.
I'm standing inside the camper. We have to pack the camper, and we get to do it in this. Yippee! Start packing, baby. Come on. I'll wait here. I'll watch.
You do that.
And the snow and winds are going crazy right now. It looks a bit chaotic, but we create staging areas inside the house almost in order of how it will go into the camper to make it easy to pack. In our drawers for freshness, we include Mrs. Meyer's fabric sheets. So using our cloth baskets, which makes it easy to pack and smush things if we need to. There's plenty of room to roll up items to go in between the two baskets. As we're packing, each drawer and cabinet, I leave space for living. In other words, make it easy to get stuff in and out. And you'll notice on the top shelf, I have the anti-skid contact sheets, and that's for the clothes I don't want to have moving around. On the bottom shelf, I don't use the contact sheets because I have the cloth baskets. That's how I organize my clothes, and it makes it easy to move things around and organize it. We're packed, we're ready to go. Next up is to attach the camper to the vehicle, and then we're going to be heading on the road. Over the next few minutes, we're going to be sharing with you how we plan for our trip, or actually, should I say, we don't plan for our trip. Let's hit the road.
Hey, watch it over there.
You ready to go camping? Let's go. Here they come. Oops. There's one and there's two. Oh, they just bumped me. And Dave, are you ready to go camping?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, we are on the road. We've been on the highway now for about 6-7 hours. We are en route to our first destination, which is going to be in Illinois, en route to see my dad. You know, this is our third year of RVing. This actually kicks off the third year of RVing. And when I look back to our first year, and Dave and I were just talking about this, and by the way, I am not in my comfort zone right now. I am sitting here in the passenger seat. I like being in the driver's seat. I am not in control of the wheels, so I am now in control of the video. So I have to be in control of something, as Dave would say.
She's in control of the wheel. She's always telling me what I need to do. So
yeah, okay.
Talk is cheap over there.
Yeah,
you're still in control. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, let's not make any mistakes about that. Okay, so, but our first year of RVing, we really had a lot of structure around our travel, and we needed to because we were learning the camper, we were learning how to travel with an RV and how to explore and manage our time. The second year was a lot of aha moments in terms of we really discovered how we like to travel with the RV, and that is with a lot of no structure. So there's times you have to have structure. If there's something pivotal you need to be there for, absolutely. But part of the joy and the fun in RV travel is traveling without a plan, but knowing that you've got resources to plan along the way. So what do I mean by that? So I'll use this trip as an example. So we are heading out west. We just left Michigan, where it was cold, which you saw in the video already, cold and snowy. And we're going to be heading out west.
Southwest.
Southwest. It's southwest. Well, yes, okay. We're heading southwest to west. Depends on what your definition of west is. And we're going to stop and see my dad, which he's in the south. So that's Arkansas. That's not southwest or west. That's south, deep south. We're going to visit with my dad for a few days, which is wonderful. Then from there, we're going to start heading southwest across Texas, out into New Mexico, Arizona, and maybe even Nevada this year. So the beauty of RV travel is traveling without a hardcore plan. So when we go across Texas, we'll know a few days in advance roughly the route we're going to go. So we will use Harvest Host because the experiences at Harvest Host are fabulous. They're unbelievable, and we're going to go into a little bit of detail on Harvest Host. The other thing is we really enjoy staying on BLM land, and with BLM land you do need to do your research. And there was just some metal in the road. Doing the research, and that's really so you know roughly information about the area, how crowded it gets, you know, what you're going to see while you're there.
And we discovered the BLM land was out there, and so we started incorporating that into our trip planning, or lack of planning, in the sense that you don't have to have a reservation at BLM land, Bureau of Land Management. You just show up, and if there's a spot available there, you just take it. It's first come, first serve. And there's certain areas out west where there are plenty of spots. It's not a matter of finding a spot, it's a matter of finding the one you want. Other areas can be a little more crowded. You have to be a little more planned, I guess, if you will, and when you arrive, because if you show up on a Friday at one of these nicer areas,
like the 525 in Sedona.
Yeah, the 525 in Sedona, it's crazy busy. You're not going to find a spot. It's just no chance.
Close.
So, you know, you got the weekend people who come in. So showing up on a Friday trying to get a great spot, it's not smart on busy areas. But there's plenty of areas where you can show up anytime and there's going to be a pretty good spot to be had. And it's free. You get to go to this BLM land. It's free. You don't have to, you know, there's no admission to get in or anything. You just show up. You get to stay 14 days max if you want. I think our longest stay was 8 days at one place. We're an unplanned planning type of trip, and then we throw in our Harvest Host stops. Yeah, so Harvest Host, you know, there's places like wineries, farms, you know, microbreweries, whatever. There's all kinds of places you just spend the night, and they just expect that you're going to spend a little money there. Typically, we'll buy a bottle of wine or buy dinner if there's food available.
The experience is what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, so you figure you're going to eat anyway, so you buy some food or you buy some produce from a farm, and we've gotten some great meat and some produce.
The Happy Farm has the best hamburger meat ever.
Okay, yes, they do. We were really pleased with that. So that's kind of part of the experience that we've learned, that, yeah, you can go to a campground and have fun, and there's nothing wrong with that, and we still do that. But we've learned that the experience of going to a Harvest Host, spending the night, you meet other Harvest Hosts that are spending the night there, and so it's like camping. And we've met friends that way. And you learn about the person that owns the farm. We've learned some interesting facts about farming and things of that nature. So it's just, you know, it's just an experience. So we really have figured out Harvest Host and Bureau of Land Management, BLM land, is the way to go for us.
You know, really the purpose of our video today is really to share just kind of getting started again. You know, the camper has been in storage for a few months, way too long in my book, but for a few months. We have to get it out, get it ready to go, repack, and once you do it a few times, the repacking becomes so much easier. So really it's more about sharing the experience that we have along the way. So our next videos are going to be about what's happening on our trip. So we hope you'll stay along, follow along on the ride, and you'll get to see some areas that we drive through. So there'll be some drive-by moments along with sharing some various locations we're staying along the way. So you ready to almost call it a night? We got to get some food.
Well, the problem is that we're staying at a hotel tonight. We have our camper, but we can't use the camper because it's not de-winterized, so we have to do the hotel thing, which is...
Okay, so let me just talk about that hotel thing. So the difference, whether it's a campground or a hotel, going through the reservation process, going online, having to re-up your subscription, or in this case,
password
resets and all that. It's just a pain. You don't have to do that when you do the BLM camping and everything else. So it is much easier, but yeah, tonight we do need to stay in a hotel. We've got one that accepts pets, and they're really great. We've always had a good experience staying there. And this will be the last hotel we stay in probably till the winter again, because all of our travel will be in the RV for spring, our summer spots, as well as the fall. So game on for RVing.
Stay tuned.